Swirlies.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Swirlies.
of course,
Love
we had
swirlies.
fun. If you know, we're doing Anduin. It's also Volcanic Week when we're doing our pluses.
Yay.
This is just a thing, right? You ever notice that Blizzard just love to throw a swirly in that basically doesn't have anything to do with any other mechanic in a fight, and it's clearly just there for them to balance difficulty?
Yep.
Swirlies.
Hey, just summarize the whole thing. Sweet.
They're not fun. And
Yeah.
you know, it's funny because they're especially not fun in some classes.
Yes.
Now, just those times like you go in as Frost Mage to like the Anduin phase and you're like, cool, I've went in, I've saved up a flurry, I've got 2 Ice Lances, let's go. And, you know, I go and I fucking freeze the 2 dudes and I use all my stuff. And then I'm just there and be like, Frostbolt. Can I have a proc, please? I have to move. Frostbolt, I have to move. Frostbolt, I have to move. And like, I have no procs. I feel so weak right now. Oh my god. And it's kind of weird because like his balance does make it harder, but the sort of constant interrupting your cast just, I don't know, it doesn't feel fun in the same way that like, I mean, the whole Anduin in the sword phase is fun.
Yeah, because that's what I have down here, where it's like, okay, Anduin downstairs at Kingsmore Hunger phase is almost perfect, right? Because you've got let's watch you play a little bit there. You've got these Anduin's Hope. They're really tightly packed. They're leaving Anduin. They start off tightly packed, so you've got like room to AoE heal them. As they get further out, it's harder to AoE heal them. Like my Efflorescence can only cover them for a little while, and obviously I can't slow them because they're allies. So I have to try and heal them efficiently before they get everything cast, and then off they go. But if I wild the growth too late, they'll be too far apart to heal everyone.
Yeah.
So this is just, it's excellent. They're also Anduin's Hope leaving him. You get to heal him. That's thematic to the fight. Anduin's Doubts coming in, the opposite. You've got that little nice design there. And then the Despair just wrecking everything. That's really just nice mechanics. It's really cool. But they don't balance difficulty by adding fun or making it fun. They go out of their way to ruin fun. Because those swirlies are just there for no reason. And they weren't on the PTR. Which means they didn't add them because they thought it was a great fight mechanic. The fight designer designed the fight, and then the last second went, fuck it. The range are doing too much damage, swirlies. As opposed to, maybe do we tone range damage down to make up for the fact that they're ranged?
I'm ranged. No, I want my damage.
Maybe do we turn melee damage up to make sure for the fact that they're melee? Maybe do we do something else with that? You know, it's all these problems where they use the...
if there's an inherent strength and... Well, okay, no, that's the thing. If there's an inherent strength and weakness for ranged and melee there, then what would happen in a static rating group of like friends in a fixed guild is you would divide your players evenly so both phases are okay.
Yeah.
In a hyper gatchy slapping esport goggles and powder and nootropics and gotta go fast, then I guess people start to like stack ranged and do shit like that to get around something like that. But it's kind of weird because I don't really care about that. I don't know. I feel like the game should... I think the game should be made for, essentially...
Yeah.
It's like you really... You don't want to start designing it like an esport. Yeah. You want to design it for like... You want to design it to be brilliant for the 50th percentile and like be extremely cool and aspirational, which means there needs to be like this 90th percentile like echelon of stuff. Yeah. But I guess you just don't want to get to, well, I don't know, whatever decision making leads to the swirlies. If it is just for balancing range, I suppose.
It's a balance thing for range and a balance thing for healers, because you have to move, which you have to like I have it down here. You have to my example is I have to Convoke, or I have to Nature Swiftness if I want to heal on the move. Obviously, Wrestle Shamans have Spirit Walker's Grace, which is a limited tool. Holy Paladins are generally fine, but they have limited range to make up for that. All that stuff like that. Like, those are natural trade-offs, and they just... This way is not fun to do it, because it's swirlies. It's just random shit on the floor. And I think it's fine to have to, like... Obviously, you're right about the 50th percentile. Just... Stop making your game... Stop punishing me for what high-end players will do. You're just shitting on my game experience. But I think the solution, I think, to this is really interesting. Because movement can be fun. I think movement is the most fun mechanic ever designed in any video game. Thankfully, it's so basic. But the way to solve this is to make movement feel fun. Make it feel like you were talking about dialogue earlier. Make it rhythmic. Make it have some cadence. Make it have a purpose. Because, it was a massive pain in the ass. Moving on Soul Render. Moving between the, I guess, pizza slices coming through the quadrants. That was a pain in the ass when you're trying to heal or do damage as a ranged. But you could pre-move a little bit and sort the problem out if you were thinking. If you're fast enough, if you had like if you had like an alter time setup, you could get there real quick. You could spatial rift over. You could do cool stuff like that. But also, it came in at a rhythm. It had a point. The what was the other example I had here? Like pinsmith spikes, where it's like you can plan for what you're doing and solve it immediately instead of this constantly game just going, oh, you stood still. Oh, you stood still.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You stood still. And that's the stuff where I think they need to figure out a way to do this better, because all of the Mythic Plus affixes are basically this as well, where it's just, we're not going to make this more fun for you. The big affixes, the seasonal ones do, but the small ones don't make it fun. They just throw, they are the equivalent of throwing sand in your face when you're playing. Like, that's the next affix. They put a water bottle on your desk connected to their servers and they spray you with water whenever you're mid-cast or whenever mechanics come in. That's the next thing that happens. Make it challenging, make it fun, not annoying. And I think that's kind of thing with, just be brave and go, instead of going, oh, we'll swirlies, just add mob health. Just do anything except making this game less fun, basically. Ugh.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think we need to go through the notes because you've summed them up perfectly there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like,
Yeah. So what do you think about swirlies? Are you a fan of the swirly? I have a feeling, I mean, it's like the lower affixes in Mythic Plus. They're never fun. They're just annoying. Yeah. I would take more mob health any day.
Yeah.
But I guess they kind of want them in there to be that like mechanical texture. But I just wonder if there's a different way or something. Because it's just that thing. If it's Volcanic Week, I'm less likely to play Mythic Plus. Not because of difficulty, just because it's less fun.
Yeah.
And I get how it is harder and there is a challenge and there's a thing for me to react to, but it's not fun.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that, there's nothing else to say, is there? And I think a lot of people agree with the Mythic Plus affixes. I think what's been a big success is the Kiss Curse seasonals. So I think if we could just, and we've said this before in the stream, like imagine if you removed, whoa, my chair goes back now. If you imagine if you removed all the Mythic Plus affixes, apart from the seasonal ones, but you made the seasonal ones a bit bigger, a bit more impactful, and you had maybe the first stage of the seasonal unlocks at like an 8.
Yeah.
And the second one unlocks at like a 12 or something. So, maybe you make it so there's 2 versions of the seasonal. But I don't know. I feel like that would be more fun to design and more fun to play.
Yeah. I will say there's some affixes that are pretty fun to play around. Like I have started to, after the nerfs, because they added a little more counterplay and made them more fun, I do quite like bursting. And I quite like Grievous. I think those are interesting, but all the movement-based ones and all the ones that are just there to shit on you are annoying. But like the game would just be better without those. Also, keep Tyrannical and Fortified, because I think that's... And as annoying it is, you have to, it basically time gates you a week to get your mythic rating. I think it actually is pretty fun to have those.
It does mean that, yeah, I can actually see and deal with the trash mechanics one week, and the other week, which is certainly the week that I prefer, I get to enjoy the bosses.
Yep.
Because, I don't know, maybe just as a raider's perspective, I enjoy boss fights.
No,
but I know a lot of other people really enjoy... pool strategizing and things, and I think it's fair enough that the game is, also giving them things.
Yeah, that's actually why I'm super interested in what Warlords Mythic Plus looks like, because that's before the game was designed around routing. There's people fucking blew up my mentions on Twitter talking about how like the linearity and like how there's linear, but there's so much you can pull as well that you kind of take into consideration in terms of speed. So it's like I really like the idea of you just have to deal with these pulls. You don't have to like route, because I think routing is the major problem, where it's like, oh my god, you idiot tank, you pulled this instead of this. Well, you're an idiot. You should, you should, kill yourself, or those people, whatever vile shit people say to people. That's what's killing a lot of tanks in this game, that kind of the routing stuff. But I think the actual fun isn't the routing to me. And I don't know if anyone finds fun in routing outside of having beaten a challenge. I think the most fun part is literally strategizing how to deal with the mobs and their ability, like the actual game design part, as opposed to do you go left or right on Spires of Ascension. Yeah. Community decided one direction, so you go one direction for all of time.
The only other thing then is, of course, Mythic Plus, the plus bit.
Yeah.
I think that's the last piece of the puzzle a lot of people don't like. And it's kind of tricky because in my head, look,
Yeah.
if they removed the timer and it was just you win the dungeon, your key goes up.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, what you would do is that, but then you need a facility so that people can have some optional difficulty to rapidly increase the quality of their key. So maybe that is just being able to click like the optional, you know, I don't know, call it Mythic plus plus, but like, you know, now everything really hits harder, and if you do it, you get to. I don't know. I basically,
No,
I don't like the timer. I don't like the timer. I don't like the gotta go fast attitude. I like the difficulty. I like a boss fight. Like that's the one thing I've really enjoyed in Mythic Plus on Tyrannical Week. I go in and it's like, fuck, this is a boss fight. This is actually a boss fight. Cool.
Yeah, no,
I
it's-
really like that.
Yeah.
But the whole, you know, gotta go fast, and you know, oh, someone's internet connections went.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the time thrown in the bin. To me, it's like those things are kind of unfortunate.
The default design of Mythic Plus has made it overtly punishing and not satisfying, especially now that getting a. I mean, it's kind of actually almost helped a little bit now that timing is all you really need,
Oh yeah, you don't
as
need to get a
opposed to
three-chest run
three
to feel
chesting.
good. Yeah.
That's certainly improved things a little bit, but then that's just a case of. Well, that's a case of rewarding doesn't do anything because you're putting the reward behind a performance requirement. And that's the thing where I can see psychologically why that's a good idea, but I think people are worried about the punishment. Or that's where it gets the you know, the point is it feels like a punishment for not plus 3ing it, or plus 2ing it rather. Now you plus 1 it and get your happy. But it's just that thing of the timer's not super fun to deal with and it feels punishing. Maybe if there's no punishment for not getting the timer, but then why get the timer? Maybe if you only timed it for mythic rating and it didn't matter to your loot or your key or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of innovations in Mythic Plus that I think need to be done and haven't been done, basically. And I hope they give them a try.
Yeah.
And I hope they don't throw a timer into the raid for raid affixes.
Oh, if they do that, they'll kill rating. They won't do that. They won't do that. Or maybe that'll be their ultimate vengeance for trash skippers in this tier.
Maybe.
Which has been us. Not always with the most success,
Yep.
but certainly trash skipping. We do it. You should do it too.
Yep.
The raid's more fun that way.
As a resto druid who has Tiger Dash, who can stealth, who's a night elf, so I can shadow meld. Trash skipping is 40,000 times more fun than doing the actual fights. Because I have a little movement challenge to get around the stealth ones. I have the Tiger Dash. I can platform or Tiger Dash. I don't know if I have it recorded, but I have one of the sickest things I've ever done in World of Warcraft recorded, which was this incredible jump in the on the way to, oh my god, what's her name? The Fallen Oracle. On the way to her, doing a big jump across a platform that I shouldn't have been able to make. That was really cool. So all that stuff, like players find their own fun, but trash is fucking pointless.
Yeah.
Get rid of it.